Hello everyone, this is ilm-setu and today we are going to discuss the part 2 of growth and development, in which in this video we will discuss the principles of growth and development one by one in simple language so that you can clearly understand how human development actually takes place. Why it is important? So before starting we must discuss the prior concept of growth and development, which is two most important concepts in educational psychology. To understand how children learn, behave, and change over time, we must first understand the principles that guide growth and development, and after that, the factors that influence them. So, the first principle is the principle of continuity. It means it is a lifelong process that never stops, even if it varies in speed. It begins at conception and continues until death. There are no sudden jumps or changes that happen. It is a step by step process. Learning, emotions, and intelligence keep evolving. Now, this is important that teachers must see development as a process, not a one time event or an achievement. Second principle is the principle of sequential pattern, in which development occurs in a fixed order, in a sequence. One stage prepares the base for the next, and the sequence is universal and general, though speed may differ. So, each stage prepares the foundation for the next stage. The order remains the same for everyone, but the speed may differ. For example, a child always learns to sit before standing and stands before walking. So, this sequential pattern occurs in two main directions. These are: first is cephalocaudal, which includes in which development proceeds from the head to toe, and proximodistal development moves from the center of the body outward. So first cephalocaudal, which is head to toe, top down rule. Head to toe, as you can see in this picture, cephalocaudal control starts at the head and moves to the feet. A baby lifts their heavy head to look around way before they can control their wobbly legs. So with an example, you can clearly understand the concept. A baby lifts their head first and then legs. So that's why it is called head to toe. And proximodistal, center to outward, the inside out rule. Development ripples outward from the center. Now the center, what is center? Center is the torso part of the body. Torso is the middle part, this part of the body. So growth starts in the trunk and spinal cord before moving to the arms, hands, and finally the fingers. For example, shoulders control develops before fingers. So here are examples: trunk and shoulders, core stability and big arm waves occur. Then arms and hands move, reaching out and palmar grasp of whole hand, and after hand, fingers and toes. We can do precise things from thumb and fingers. Now, third principle is the principle of general to specific, which includes development moves from broad responses to refined skills. Body control develops from fine motor skills. So gross to fine is important to keep in mind. Movement starts from big and clumsy, then gets precise. Kids master gross motor skills, whole body. What are gross motor skills? Gross motor skills are running, jumping, or walking, etc. Before fine motor skills. Fine motor skills are writing, the the skills that requires tiny details. Now, these are the examples. Baby moves whole arms before using fingers. Child must first runs clumsily, later plays cricket or badminton. Writing, whole hand movement to finger control. So this is gross and this is fine. Now, fourth is principle of individual differences. Rate of growth varies from child to child. Every child is unique. Growth rate differs due to heredity, nutrition, and environment. So this is the principle of individual differences. So it states that every child is unique, and even if two children are of the same age, their development may not be the same. For example, one child may start speaking fluently very early, another child may excel in maths or at a later stage. So these are the examples. And teachers and parents need to respect individual differences and avoid unhealthy comparisons. So here are some important things to keep in mind. No single average child exists. Developmental milestones are ranges, not dates. Growth is often asynchronous, uneven. We are going to discuss asynchronous, uneven as a principle now. For example, as I said earlier, one child speaks English fluently early, another excels in maths later, puberty occurs earlier or later due to nutrition and lifestyle. So these are the examples. Now, fifth is the principle of interconnection. Interconnection of what? The domains. The domains of physical, cognitive, emotional, and social development that affect each other. For example, poor health affects school performance, emotional support from teachers improves learning. Therefore, holistic education is motivated and it is essential. Now, sixth principle is the principle of maturation and learning. Development depends on two important factors, and it depends on both maturation as well as learning. What is maturation? Maturation refers to biological growth of the body and nervous system. For example, a child cannot walk at birth no matter how much we train them. Walking becomes possible only when the muscles, bones, and nervous system mature. And the learning involves practice, training, and experience. For example, once a child's fingers mature, practice helps improve handwriting. Repeated practice helps a child read faster and write neatly. So both are important. Seventh principle is the principle of uneven and asynchronous. Different aspects grow at different rates, and physical growth may be fast, emotional growth slow. So this is a possibility and it happens. It is common. So for example, these are the examples. A teenager may look like adults but behave impulsively, and a child may be academically brilliant but socially awkward. And this uneven growth is normal and should be understood with sensitivity. Now, the eighth principle is the principle of predictability. Now, although individuals differ, development follows predictable patterns. Helps in it. So why it is important? This helps teachers plan curriculum, teaching methods, learning activities. For example, reading readiness appears in early childhood, and abstract thinking develops during adolescence. So understanding predictability helps educators teach at the right time and right level. Now, these were the eight principles of growth and development, and now we are going to discuss the factors that influence growth and development. So, first is genetics. Genetics includes heredity, inherited traits from parents that determine physical characteristics like height, weight, color, hair, hair color, and body structure. And so genetics or genes provide the basic blueprint for development. And next is nutrition. Nutrition provides energy for physical growth, brain development, overall health. Poor nutrition can lead to delayed growth and learning difficulties. So it is very much important. And third is environment, that includes prenatal environment and postnatal. Prenatal is maternal health, nutrition, infections, alcohol and tobacco use during pregnancy that can affect fetal development. And postnatal environment includes clean surroundings, sanitation, pollution, and climate also influence growth. Now, Next is hormones, that is related to endocrine glands, that are from endocrine glands. The endocrine system regulates growth through hormones such as growth hormone, thyroid hormones, and sex hormones. So hormonal imbalance can disturb normal growth patterns. Now, next is socioeconomic status. That family income and social standing influence access to better nutrition, health services, and educational opportunities and other resources. So it influences growth and development of a child. Emotional and social factors. A secure, loving home environment promotes healthy psychological growth, while neglect or trauma can hinder development. And physical activity and sleep. Regular exercise strengthens muscles and bones, while sleep is critical for the release of growth hormones. So, illness and infection, chronic disease, or frequent infections can negatively impact the rate of growth. And the last is gender. Boys and girls show differences in growth patterns, timing of puberty, and physical development. So, that's why it is included in this. And these factors do not work in isolation. This is very much important to understand. And quote, these factors do not work in isolation, they continuously interact to shape an individual's overall growth, development, and maturation. So, growth and development are continuous. What we have discussed is it is continuous, orderly, and interconnected processes that are influenced by both biological and environmental factors. Understanding these principles of growth and development helps teachers, parents, and educators respect individual differences, plan appropriate teaching strategies, support holistic child development. So, development is not just about physical growth, it's about shaping the whole personality of an individual. So, that's the class, that's the end, and thank you. And we will be discussing another concept in the next class. Thank you.